Okay, it says it's recording, so we're going to go for it. All right, so again, like I said, this is going to be a part one of a two-part series this week and next week of digging into storytelling and how we can really just apply it to our type of business and our type of industry. So the first thing that I want to do is encourage you guys with all of this is, one, as I was digging and as I've been reading some of the different incredible people who talk about storytelling, there's some authors out there, there's books on Amazon on it, there's blog posts about it. You can find a million things on Pinterest. It can be really overwhelming. So my first thing is I want you to do this. Don't overthink this, because for the most part, everyone's already doing this really, really well. Okay. So don't think that we're about to like rewrite the rules here, because that's not what this is. This is just a suggestion. This is just another layer of support. These are just tools. There is absolutely no magic wand in this business. You can't wave it over it and magic happens. There are a few ingredients that can cause magical things to happen in your business. I'll share that in just a second. But again, just don't overthink this. This is a great way to just kind of evaluate what you're already doing and then think, is this something I should add, or should I reconstruct the way I'm showing up in this way? But one thing I want you to hear is that if you are enrolling a lot of people, you're getting a lot of people started. If you have massive momentum on your team and you're developing silvers below you, golds and all of that, what you're doing is probably working. Okay, so don't try to go in and rewrite the book with this. Use this as a tool. All right, because I'm going to give y'all a lot of information, and that's another reason I'm trying to record it. There's a good bit of examples that I want to share with you guys. But so I'm going to try to go quickly so that we can cram it into 2 Zooms and not 3, and then we can get back to our normal stuff and just kind of weave all of this in going forward. But like I was saying, there's no magic potion. There are some things that you can do. I wrote this out real quick. Is you've got to be consistent, show up for yourself, show up for your business. When you're not consistent, that's when people start to go, I wonder what happened, or your team can wonder that. Be considerate. Who are you talking to? Consider your audience and show up for them. And then have confidence, build up that audience as well. Have confidence in what you're saying, but have confidence or build confidence in that person, because then the second part happens, which is the beautiful thing, which is the confirmation. You want to conform or convert that viewer into a buyer and that buyer into a business builder, right? So we're just going to use this as the tools to help you do all of that. And that's been the key the whole time, right? Okay, so in storytelling, I have wrote out some things. And if you know me, I love like breaking things down into little quirky things and using like little examples. So the first one we're going to talk about is the before after bridge. We did this last time. We kind of talked about it last time a little bit, and I had my notes, but I wanted to include a little bit of last time into this just to have the actual 2-part series together. So tonight there might be a little bit of repeat, but that's okay. So the first way to tell a story is you can use this method: a before and after with a bridge. The bridge that connects the before and after, right? So the before is, here's your world. This is what it used to look like. This was your problem. This was your struggle. These are the things that were going on. This is going to be something you're going to focus on in a negative way, kind of, not in a discriminating or an ugly way, but just, fatigue or not enough money at the end of the month, a problem, an actual problem, right? Health or wealth is all it's going to boil down to. Then you're going to go ahead and give the after. So it's like before, after. So what does it look like now? What would that look like if that problem was solved, right? So then you're telling that story of what it could look like for somebody if they had more money at the end of the month, what it could look like for somebody if they weren't having headaches every single day, right? And then you're going to explain how you got there. Then there's the bridge. So you've got the before, the after, you've got their attention, and now you're going to include the ingredients, how you did it. It's kind of like when you go to Pinterest and you see this beautiful cake, right? And you're like, oh, okay, like I want to make that. And you've got the cake, but then you have to go through the recipe. I mean, you got to go through the post to find the recipe and the ingredients, right? So you've got the before and after. The before is you, no cake. You've got the after, Pinterest, cake. And now you've got to dig through the recipe to find, dig through the post to find the recipe with the ingredients. So that is an example of a before, after bridge storyline. Okay, so that's number one. I'm going to try to give you all 10 tonight because I'm telling you there's a lot that I dug up. And then I'm going to try to give you 10 next week. I'm going to give you another example with all of this with the bridge. So like being a present mom, and using the word is instead of was in your before validates somebody's pain point. Okay, so that's just a little clue there. So if I was to say, being a present mom is hard, I'm validating my audience's pain point because they're not in the after, they're in the before, right? And then I'm going to talk about, imagine feeling excited to sit down and play Barbies with your little girl because you're not tired or your knees don't hurt to bend down that far and sit on the ground and get back up. Okay, before, after. This is what helped me achieve that goal. This is what helped me get to that point. His tablet's right there. Sorry, my little guy just came in real quick. You can turn it on and go back to the back room with Brinley, okay? So you've got your before, which is your pain point, the problem, the struggle. Then there's the after, what it looks like. Imagine being able to do this, that, and the other. And then this is what helped me. Maybe I'm focusing on the product ease, and I want to talk about my joint pain and what that looks like and why that helped. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is using the flow of, similar to this, but a little different, problem and agitation to the problem, then the solution. Okay. So you've got the problem. Maybe it's something like you're tired of confusing blood work. You're sick of being sick. You're tired of the scale not changing, different things like that. Then you're going to agitate the problem a little bit, okay? Because you've got the audience's attention on these are some things that maybe they're struggling with, and you're going to agitate it a little bit. You're going to agitate it with some validation and additional pain points. Let's say it's okay, so tired of getting confusing blood work. Not getting answers is hard. Going to multiple appointments and still not knowing what's going on with you is frustrating. Okay, then I'm going to solve the problem. But as I researched gut health, I realized that all of my symptoms circled back to that. And so I shifted my focus and started working on my gut health. And I still may not know exactly why my blood work was the way it was, but I know that this, that, and the other symptom I'm no longer struggling with. Okay, so you presented the problem, you irritated it a little bit, you got some emotions going from your audience, and then you flipped it around and gave them a simple solution, right? Okay. That's number two. Moving on to number three. This is why we're recording because I want to go a little faster. All right. Number three is what I call FAB. I love all these acronyms. Features, advantages, and benefits. So this would be a FAB post. Feature. So what is something that this product can do for you? This is going to be more like a product focused story, right? What's the advantages of it? So that's kind of like a comparison, right? And then what's the benefits? What's the outcome, right? So why is this fabulous? It's kind of how I want to think about that. When I'm thinking about my products, I want to think about a fabulous post, right? So MetaBurn's our product of the month, so it deserves the spotlight on this call. So let's say you want to talk about MetaBurn. Friends, this month, our company highlights a product of the month, and it is MetaBurn. And if you were to purchase MetaBurn, or you wanted to try MetaBurn, The advantage to this product is that it boosts my metabolism, literally sets my fat on fire. Use some exciting words. Make your friends pay attention to you. It targets with these specific ingredients. I know you have to be super careful, but in stories, you can be a little less careful, but in your post, be super careful to stay very compliant. Let me say all of that just as a disclaimer all the way around real quick. Be compliant. However, and I'll share a little hint about that here in a few minutes. But okay, so if you were to purchase MetaBurn, you would set your fat on fire. It's going to boost that metabolism. It's literally in the name, burn, baby, burn. It gives me a good mood. This is why. And not only are you going to be working on getting skinny, but it's helping you get healthy. Like there's no stimulants, there's no additives, there's no yuck in this. So I feel good about putting it in my body, right? Okay, so you have provided these people with features, advantages, benefits. When we're talking about products, I want to tell you guys something really incredible, another tool, and this is something you can be using with all of this about compliant and being compliant, is that when you order your products, a lot of them come with these cool little books. And some of them come with product guides that show what your compliance could be. Another thing is in your toolbox inside of your virtual office, there is a little bubble that with a check that says yes. Go look for that yes program, and it tells you exactly what you can and cannot say. And you can interweave those words into your post to make sure that you are using the words that Plexus said, hey, these are what's working, this is what we can say, and this is what's not going to get your post pulled. So just as a disclaimer. Okay, so that was number 3, I think. Okay, number 4, we're going to call storyline the 4 C's. Yeah, this is the 4 C's. I had to count them. So if you're making a story along the lines using the 4C acronym, you want to be clear, concise, compelling, credible. This is a great way to stay focused if you feel like you have a lengthy post. If you've got something you're really excited about, or maybe you saw a post somewhere else and you're like, oh, I really like that, but it's really long. Or you found a testimony of somebody's and you want to retell somebody else's story. You can use this formula to weed out a little bit of it, to keep it in line and keep people's attention and not so many of the details, okay? So another great way to use this is, it could be, if you want to be product focused without starting with the product, you could start with, so my example I put here was dehydration causes X, Y, Z. I didn't realize that my headache was due to dehydration. That's the compelling part. I was clear. I was concise with what I'm talking about. I'm compelling because I'm bringing them in, and then I'm going to be credible. Okay, we'll pass the before. Okay, on compelling, I felt, I had my headache. I felt this way, and then I'm going to say, but I found an incredible electrolyte drink that has these ingredients, and those specific ingredients have helped me with this. So now I have built a credibility with the product. Hydrate. That's going to be the product that I'm talking about, obviously. Maybe it's, you wanted to go with Vital Biome. You could go from a different point. I'm seeing a lot of posts around that whole psychobiotic or whatever it is. And so there could be some really good posts come out of Vital Biome with that. And you could use the 4 C's and just make sure that you're compliant, but we'll add the 5th C there as compliant. You want to be clear and concise, compelling, credible, and then the 5th C, compliant. All right. The 5th one I want to talk about is going to be using the 4 U's. And this one I actually found with through Chalene Johnson. She was talking about this, and was talking about using it as her technique that she uses when she goes live. Okay. So when she's going live, she uses these 4 U's. This is her outline. So if she's using it, she's very successful. Follow successful people. 1, she wants it to be useful. She always makes sure that the material she's discussing is useful. Once she finds her useful topic, she creates an urgency around that useful topic. She makes sure it's unique. And then this one is not going to be surprising, the 4th one. Ultra specific, of course, right? Because she's the one that's trying to teach us how to niche down so far that we don't even know what we're talking about anymore. So ultra specific. And on this, she was talking about your niche and being live on about your niche. So you can absolutely use this for reels and all of that too. My example was about going live. So if you're going to go live, you want to make sure that your live, your material is useful and applicable to your audience, right? So if your audience expects you to show up talking about motherhood, weight loss, or I don't know, anxiety, depression, and you show up with your outfit of the day going live, people are probably going to be like, what's going on, right? That's not going to feel useful for them because that's not why they're following you. Okay. So you are going to be useful. Then you're going to provide an urgency. So maybe if you were making a post about going live, you're going to tell people that you are going live in this amount of time. So for example, going live Wednesday, answering all your questions about XYZ, right? Or it can even be you could do like an unpopular opinion. This is a great place. People love those on lives or reels. Maybe it's like why eating fat is so important to losing weight. That's definitely an unpopular opinion, but it's important and true, right? You got to have good fat to burn bad fat. Don't confuse your body. And you can tie that around like how the enemy is sugar and having balanced blood sugars. Do you see where I'm going with this? You could totally do a live like that. And your header is why I eat fat to burn fat, going live in 10 minutes to tell you my secret, right? So you're useful because everybody's thinking about weight loss right now, right? You're urgent. You're telling them when it's going to happen. They want to come back. They want to see it. They're ready. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's in 10 minutes. You're unique. You're unpopular, right? It's a little opinion that maybe not everybody agrees with. So they're going to come and listen and maybe be a little controversial for you. And that's okay because that boosts your algorithm. Just allow it. And you're being ultra specific to yourself and to your niche. You're showing up talking about what people expect you to talk about, right? Okay, so there's your 4 U's of Chalene's incredible knowledge. All right, number 6. Okay, so number 6 is a good one. If you want to use this one for when we have product launches, or if we have a new group starting, or maybe there's a Why Plexus Why Now call coming up that you're wanting to promote, something that you're promoting, like new products, different things like that. It is attention, interest, desire, action. That's going to be your flow. So you want to get the person's attention. So using words like sneak peek, hot market item, new product coming, industry standard setting something, use the attention, the bing, bing, you got the little alarm flasher things going on in your post. You've got all the good ingredients to get somebody's attention. So you get their attention. You got to pique their interest, right? So maybe it's about a fasting group And you're like, and this is totally off the cuff, so this is not going to be accurate. Don't write this down. Don't post this. This is a lie. Fasting is the second hottest way to lose weight, according to Vogue magazine. My team is hosting a fasting challenge where you are able to win $500 and be entered into a Peloton bike. Okay, blah, 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 blah. You've got the attention, you've piqued interest. You're saying, hey, now there's the desire. What's the benefit of this? Well, in 10 weeks, these were the results from the last group. We incorporated these products and it helped do X, Y, and Z. And then there's your action. You're going to ask for a response. This is also great for stories, because if you're going to ask for that response and require an action, whether it's a hand emoji if you need to be added to the group, hand emoji if you want the Zoom, smiley face, heart it, love it, whatever, or vote on the polls, write your name in the answer box if you want to be added to this, the call to action. But you're making sure that you're sticking with getting the reader's attention, right? What is the storyline behind that? It's how to promote something amazing, right? So this is new products, the group, like we were talking about, a call. And then you've got to have interesting information and then the benefit before you can ask for that response, right? All right, so that was number 6. Doing pretty good on time, kind of. All right. Okay, here's another really good with stories, or not stories, but just like actually creating storytelling. And it's talking about painting a picture for somebody. So like you're kind of getting in their head, right? You're going to paint a picture. You're going to make a promise. And then you're going to prove your point. Okay, so it's paint a picture, make a promise, prove a point. I don't have an acronym for that unless you want to use the 3 Ps, I guess. So if you paint the picture, you've got to create a desire. Let's use money for this one. This is great. I love talking about money anyway. So let's paint a picture, right? I remember a time when I would stand in the grocery store line, hand over my coupons, and pray it didn't go over $200, because that is how much was in my checking account that I knew my card would swipe for. I did not want to be that mama standing there in line, having to put items back, right? Painting a picture. But when I shared these products that worked so well for me, or when I don't think I'd go there. Okay, well, we're just giving an example. So don't write this down. Use the pain point. Use the promise. So when I took a chance on something different and realized that helping other people helped put $500 extra a month in my bank account, I was able to swipe my card with confidence. And I have become, here's the promise, okay? I have become really good at helping other people do the same. Last month, here's the proof. Last month, my friend, show your graphic of your girlfriend's promotion, helped 3 of her friends. And that put $350 into her bank account. And last month, my friend helped such and such people, which got her to another pay level in our company, because nobody knows what gold and silver is. I love the word pay level. I heard that the other day on a call. Achieved another pay level in our company, and she earned a check that replaced her monthly teaching salary check. And this is changing her family's future. So you're painting a picture as you go along the way of what it's looked like for you before, but what it looks like now. And then you're showing the proof of what you're talking about. You're proving your promise, right? You're backing it up, which, and like I said before, I see y'all already doing these things, right? So maybe there's just some extra little tips and stuff in here that's helping you with maybe words to use or extra things. But like I said, like some of this y'all are probably like, well, I already do that. And I'm doing that. And that's great. That's great. You're doing the right thing, right? We're not rewriting anything new. This is all things that we're already doing. These are just tips and tools from different people who are incredible storytellers that I've just kind of compiled together some of their great tips and put it in like a list of, here's some examples. Don't feel like you got to do all of this stuff. Find the ones that work really well for you. I'll share one more with you guys, and then next week we will dive into using stories to debunk objections. I don't want to really dive into that tonight because I don't think we have enough time, because I want to keep it around 30 minutes. But the last one I'm going to share with you is, this one's kind of fun. The last P on the last one was prove what you're saying. Let's see, trying to find a good one. All right, let's do this one. This one's fun. All right, so this one is, this guy's name is Kevin Lee. I mean, he sounds like an actor, but he's not. But he talks about like writing stories and stuff. But his is from a client sales perspective. He's like a sales guru or something. Definitely not in network marketing. But he's got some great content, right? Okay. So he talks about one of the tools that he uses in he does like the Twitter post and stuff like that, which I don't use Twitter, but y'all may. But this is definitely a good idea. So he uses a psychological pool of open loops by creating a cliffhanger with your content, right? Okay, so open loops, he's explaining it, and he says open loops in TV shows are equivalent to that of a cliffhanger that keeps you up all night waiting for the next episode, okay? So if you're able to create a cliffhanger when you're telling a story. I think I've talked about this many times before in the different Zoom calls that we've done. It's kind of like showing parts of a Diamond documentary. And so you've got like somebody's amazing story, right? And you're like, this is my friend, whoever, and she was recognized this week as a top earner, but you would never have guessed that 3 years ago, she was using food stamps to buy her groceries. And tomorrow, come back to my stories because I'm going to tell you how she did that. I'm going to share the whole story with you. And then the next day, having the whole story. So you're wanting them to come back to you. It gives them a reason to think about and go, that's interesting. You could even crop some of those little Diamond documentaries through, there's different apps that you can use to cut different pieces and use that as part of your stories, and little 15-second, 20 seconds for Facebook, 15, I think, for Instagram, into your stories. Let that person tell their story because it will be relatable to some of your audience. His example was how losing our biggest client led to our biggest month in sales. Okay, so maybe you don't want to come from a money perspective. Maybe you want to come from a health perspective. And it's something like how eating more, I'm just going to use this again because it's easy. How eating more fat helped me burn more fat and led to my most successful weight loss ever. Okay, people are going to be like, what? Come back tomorrow or this afternoon, I'm going to share in my stories how I did that. And then you go live in your little stories and you tell about it, right? All right, so there's 10 ideas, 10 ways to write different stories. And I am going to do a part 2 because I want to stop there. I feel like that's a good place to stop. And this is a good time to be time sensitive to everybody and make sure we don't make it too lengthy and too long. I'm going to stop the recording so that way we can start back up next time.